Butternut, that's not a place for cats to sit.
Hey YouTube, it's a lazy Sunday afternoon and I got nothing better to do, so I figured someone mentioned something on my Twitter about doing a cover of all the mangas I have, sort of my collection video, and yeah, why the hell not? So this little zone you see in the back of all my videos is literally where I keep all my mangas and comics. The top shelf is all mangas. I've got all mangas there. I got 2 mangas there. The rest of the stuff is video games that I just don't have anywhere else to put. And in this little thing up here is all my comic books, and I think I've got 1 manga. Oh yeah, right here. 1 manga up here. So I'm just gonna walk you through all these. I'll pull them out and slap them on the bed for easy viewing. So starting with the top shelf, we got Monster Musume, which of course I've already done a review of. It's pretty hilarious. I got the 3rd volume because I think there's some funny stuff in there. Then I've got volumes 20, 21, and 22 of Red River or Anatolia's Story, depending on which version you've read. This is easily one of my favorite manga series ever. I will review this eventually, but it's very long, so it's not easy to cover. I don't think you can really get these anymore, new. So I'm glad I picked these up when I did. These are probably the oldest mangas in my collection from, like, me purchasing them myself. I've got some older ones, but those are just because I got them used. Attack on Titan Volume 1. This isn't the best volume. I just like to get the 1st volume for stuff I'm going to review. Siren Volume 1. This is a really good action series. It was going to be number 5 on my favorite mangas list, which would have made it the 10th episode, but then I remembered Zatch Bell existed, and Zatch Bell is funnier than this. This has its moments, but it's mostly just a really straightforward action manga. We got Rosario and the Vampire, again, just the 1st volume of this. Not a huge fan, but, you know, I just like to own things that I do reviews of, if at all possible. I don't actually buy full series of mangas, even when I really like them, unless it's a short series. I prefer to do all my reading online. Here we have Yatsubato. This is hilarious. It's one of the best slice of lives I've ever read. It's got a really... It's Cute Kid the manga. If you've heard of it, you've read it. Then we have Midnight Secretary. This is coming up in the review docket right now. I've already got it on the schedule. This is from an author I'm actually really quite familiar with, and I was really happy to see this one get published in the US, because this is probably the best thing that author's done so far. It's not perfect, but it's a good, mature adult romance. Very adult, in fact, quite graphic at times. And, of course, it features vampires. And then we have Kami-sama Kiss, Volume 1. Still Volume 1? Yeah, okay. This one is one of my other favorite series that is not on, like my top 5. I don't like to measure my favorites past 5. But it would be in the top 10. This is a good, solid fantasy-style romance. I like the way it starts out. It kind of gets a little bit more cliche as it goes, but it starts out in a very unusual place, and you've probably already read it if you're into shoujo. Oh, man, I almost knocked over the whole bookcase getting these out. Sometimes they don't want to come out of the slot. It's a very tight fit. Beastmaster Volume 1. There's only 2 volumes. I should probably get the 2nd one, but... The second one has a very nice side story called Cactus Love. It's actually quite good. Japanese copy of Pokemon Volume 3, probably one of the most interesting members of my collection. It's notably smaller in size than the American sizes we get. I don't know why that is. Host Club, I hate you. The only reason I own you is because I'm going to review you. Buso Renkin, this is one I was actually introduced to at a very young age in my manga career. It's not the greatest, but it's a decent enough shonen piece. I don't think it finished right though. It kind of ended on a cliffhanger as I recall. Dragon Ball 1. Why the hell not? Dragon Ball was actually really quite different in the beginning than how it ended up. Big fan of the Dragon Ball Z anime. Hellsing 1. I would probably want to own more of this, because Hellsing at the end is quite a different animal from how it is in the beginning, but it's pretty cool no matter when you get it. Zatch Bell. Another one I kind of wish I had a later volume of, but the 1st volume is always good to have for things. Oh, where is that early picture of him? Yeah, it's going to be like... Yeah, right here. He's got pants on! Yes, he did not have pants in the original. He had just his junk hanging out, and apparently that's okay, because his junk is tiny boy junk. Lovely Complex. Easily one of the best shoujo romances I've ever read. Narrowly missed being in my top 5. This will get reviewed someday. I was unable to get the first volume of this, but I kind of prefer having... This one is the one I kind of like having a middle volume of, too. Peach Girl! This one was really popular at one point. I think it's kind of fallen off the radar of late. It's okay. It's definitely worthy of review, though, because there's a female character in here who acts as, like, the Moriarty to Sherlock. It's just, she's obscenely evil. And the first 3 volumes of High School Debut. This was the only way they were selling it when I went out to buy it, and I was not at all bothered by getting more High School Debut, so... Alright, now we're moving into my more recent acquisitions. I don't really organize my shelf since I only tend to get, like, 1 volume of stuff, so there wouldn't be much point. So this is all stuff that I got recently. This is a practically mint copy of City Hunter. I picked it up at the con. It was wrapped in plastic. It's actually quite funny. City Hunter ranges between really funny and painfully failed at being funny. But this one's good. Ultramaniac! Oh my god, such a low-effort manga, I couldn't even believe it. The girl on the left has magic powers, and that barely matters at all. I'm gonna review it someday. It's not horrible or anything, it's just failed potential. This artist in general is just not known for high-quality stuff. Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, you should all read this. Go read this. This is the very recently released 1 and 2 volume. I cannot wait for the rest of it to come out. Probably going to end up buying it, even though I've already read it all. Tramps Like Us. I hate that title. That's a horrible translation of what the title really should be. This, I'm going to review. This is definitely coming up. And, it's kind of a weird, bizarre romance between this older woman and this younger guy. They've got a weird romance thing going on. Karakuri Odette. This is from an author I was following long before they got big. They unfortunately dropped the series that originally attracted me to them, but this is just that's a robot and that's a robot, and they go to high school, and that's about it. But it's funny, it's cute, and it doesn't overplay its hand when it comes to the romance aspect. Alright, I got these for Christmas from a friend. I don't really find this series funny. That's just me. I mostly find it awkward. And you could say that it hits a little too close to home, but mostly I just find this character's insistence on planning out every single aspect of how her social interactions are going to happen infuriating, because you can't do that, girl. You can't. I don't know if I'll review that. Probably. Stepping on Roses! This was another one that took me a while to finish online because the scanlators kind of dropped it and then someone else picked it up. It took forever. It's interesting. It takes place in an unusual time period, sort of the modernization period of Japan when they were just starting to take in Western influence, but, you know, well before World War II. It has its ups and downs. I can't really recommend it super highly, but if you're a fan of romance, this is a good one. Alright, Skip Beat! I've already done my review on the first chapter of this, the 3rd volume. Skip Beat is good, it just goes on too long. Alright, Wanted! I cannot remember what else this author has done, because I know this author, like, really well. Let's see if there's any mention of it in the beginning. No? Alright, well, I know this author. This is basically a one-shot. Like, this doesn't say Volume 1 because this is all there is. That's a pirate, and that's a girl who wants to track down a pirate. It's silly, light, fluffy shoujo romance. No big deal. Alright, and to finish it out, we got the Assassination Classroom. This is amazing. You need to read this. I actually did a written review of this. It hasn't been posted online yet. I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm going to see if I can't do another video recommendation of this, like a full one. But yes, this is amazing. It's hilarious, and it's great. Dorohedoro, do you like Hellsing? If you liked Hellsing, you're probably going to like this. This is gory, good fantasy fun. I highly recommend it. Explicit content is not a joke. And Black Cat. I'm vaguely familiar with this one. I've never really bothered to read it in its entirety, but I am familiar with the author, so it just seemed worth picking up. It was cheap at the con. Now we've got my mass of American comics, and I'm not going to cover them all individually because American comics are really read in series. So here we have Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. This is funny. If you're at all following comics, you've probably heard of this. It's really quite silly, and I'm greatly enjoying it. It's in the kids section for some reason. Next we have, on the complete other end of the spectrum, the Saga series. This is a very adult drama in a very interesting sci-fi world. Butternut, your tail is in the way. Just to give you an idea, I believe this one opens with, this one opens with a woman giving birth, like, right in panel. So that'll give you some idea. But it's really quite well written. Next we have the Fable series. Oh crud, I dropped some. I picked these up because I enjoyed the game, but this is also, it's sort of in the same vein as Saga. It's a very interesting, fantastical world. Next we have a couple issues of She-Hulk. I've got the original and the more recent one. I just enjoy the She-Hulk character. Ugh. Stop falling over. And there's a single volume of Fables I picked up. Revelations is an interesting, complete series. I've got the whole thing. This one's a complete tale. I can recommend it. It's got a very interesting art style. Horror anthology wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Oh, Akira. This is in color. Like, I'll get to this someday, but the history behind this issue of Akira is very cool. And lastly, we have Ninja Scroll. I don't know if this is a manga or a comic. I'll have to figure that. I'm pretty sure it's a comic. But it is based as a sort of sequel to the Ninja Scroll anime, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so that's what I got. I'm not really a collector of anime, manga, comics. I just sort of buy them as I want them. Don't expect me to ever have, like, bookshelves strewn with, like, 30 volumes of Naruto. But thanks for watching.